that society today, right? There are several women who are taller than their husbands. That doesn't mean that the men are not man enough. That doesn't mean that they don't love their husband genuinely. That doesn't mean that the men were the last resort. That means that they cherish this man. It means that this is a man that they looked and they decided that they want to be with this man, regardless of what any other person thinks. Hello ladies, hello gents. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mira Skinner and you know that I do not take your presence here for granted. So, on today's video, we are going to be talking about the insecurities that men face that women really do not care about. But before we dive right into this video, guys, you know the drill. Go ahead and hit the subscription button. Also hit the notification bell. That way you know when we do have new uploads. And also share this video with your family and friends so they can get to know what we're doing here on this channel. Because you know, guys, that I bring you the top of the top of the top. So let's dive right in. The number one insecurity that men have that women really do not care about is the size of their penis. Let us address this elephant in the room. Most often, when you notice, people always feel like if a man doesn't have like a huge penis, if a man doesn't, carry a lot of junk in the trunk, then he's not man enough. People tend to think that the size of the man's penis is what is going to equal to his masculinity. But there are some people that have huge junks in their trunk that really do not have that masculinity that women are looking for. Scientific research has proven that a whopping 84% of women really do not care about the size of a man's penis. What they care about is his confidence, the way he carries himself, because the size of his junk does not necessarily equal the way he's gonna use it. Because sometimes people who have these huge junks in the trunk, they really cannot perform to the woman's satisfaction. They really cannot bring a woman to a point of ecstasy. Because let's face it, sex is a mind game. It is something that starts way in the mind before it gets to the body or before it gets to any point. So if you're a man and you feel like, okay, you have this huge junk in your trunk and you feel like this is what women are after, then you're wrong, because this is not the things that actually attract women. So you have to stop worrying about the size, because that is not what matters. What matters is how you can use it. What matters is how you can bring a woman to ecstasy. Sometimes the small knives are sharper than the big knives. The next thing that men are insecure about, that women really do not care about, is body image. You'll be surprised at the number of men that care so much about how they look. You will think that because of the way the media has portrayed women, they have put women in front, that women are the ones who are doing everything to enhance their bodies. They are going above and beyond to see that they look good. And people always think that they are doing this because of the men. There are also men out there who are trying to do the same thing and even more because they care so much about their body image. Let's take, for example, right, a man who wants to go out with a woman, right? Some men will go as far as trying to find out who this woman was dating before they can even approach this woman. They want to know how the man looked. They want to know how he carried himself. They want to know if this man had a lot of muscles or this man didn't have muscles, to be able to determine if they're a right fit for the woman. But you cannot compare yourself to another man. There is a reason why this woman you're trying to date is no longer with that person. So there is no reason why you have to be looking at that person to determine your worth. If she was only after the muscles, if she was only after the way the man looked, she was going to be with the man. So if you see a woman that you're attracted to, forget about the person that she was with before. Think about you and the now, because the present is what matters. Shoot your shot and see if you're the right fit for her. You really don't have to have a chiseled six-pack for a woman to like you, because there are many other reasons out there that a woman needs. That is what she's thinking about, and not necessarily how you look. Because you will look at some people, sometimes, let's face it, there are sometimes that you can be walking on the street and you see people loving on themselves and you're asking yourself, how did this pretty woman end up with this man? That is because it is not the looks that she was going after. There are other things that are going to comfort her. There are other things that the man has that is going to make her feel secure. To gain attraction from a woman, you need to stir up some emotion in her. It is not about your body image. It is about how you can bring out that femininity in her. That is what actually matters. The next point, family, is the height of the man. This is also another form of body image, right? There are several men out there who feel like if they're not tall enough, if they are not they are not 6'2", or they are not very tall, or they are not the basketball height, then they will not have a woman that genuinely loves them. That is not true. That is not what a woman is looking for in a man. Yes, I get it. I get it. When girls are growing up, they have all these fantasies, right? When they're being asked, like, what kind of man would you like to marry? They will say, like, I want a tall, dark, and handsome guy, a chocolate guy who is very tall. But as women grow older, right, that is not what they are looking for. Even the girls who say that is what they are looking for, if you look at it technically, they don't end up with those kind of people because they realize that those are just fantasies. Those are just illusions. That is not the real thing that you need to be looking for in a man. If you look at our society today, right, there are several women who are taller than their husbands. That doesn't mean that the men are not man enough. That doesn't mean that they don't love their husband genuinely. That doesn't mean that the men were the last resort. That means that they cherish this man. It means that this is a man that they looked and they decided that they want to be with this man, regardless of what any other person thinks. There is one thing that you have to understand. If you're a man who has a woman who is taller than him, and you make a big deal about your height, you're going to in turn make this woman feel insecure about her own height. And when insecurities come into a relationship, you're opening the door for other things that we're not supposed to come through. My mother used to tell me, right, that if you open your door this small, someone will use a toothpick to open the door wider. So as a man, do not open your door for enemies to come in. Because if you think that it is just an insecurity, you're going to notice down the line that it is something that is very huge. When a woman starts feeling insecure about her height because you, the man, has made her to feel that way, you're going to be opening doors to things that you do not want. You're going to be opening the doors to the enemy to come into your marriage. And that is something that can be prevented. That is something that can be avoided. So height is not a big deal. That is not what most women care about. The next point is not showing your vulnerabilities. Most men often think that if they show a woman their vulnerable side, if they show a woman their feminine side, if they show a woman their soft side, then a woman is going to think that they are girls as well. A woman is not going to love them. The woman is going to maybe make mockery of them because they are showing that vulnerable side of them. But one thing that you fail to understand is that we want to come off as cool and collected. But nerves are a universal human experience. Everyone, it doesn't matter your gender, is going to experience some form of vulnerability. Is going to be vulnerable at one point in time. And the woman wants to see that you trust her enough to be vulnerable with her. Because if you keep hiding that part of you, if you keep holding on to it, if you keep tying it and not showing her, she might think that maybe you don't love her enough or you don't trust her enough. So showing your vulnerability as a man should not be an insecurity. Most men have not been wired to show their nervousness. They've not been wired to show their vulnerability. But women actually see that as a good thing. Because when you have a woman and you show her your vulnerability, you show her that nervous side of you, she takes it that you care about her. She understands that you're afraid of losing her. And you want to keep her. And that gives her some form of security, rather than hiding it and not showing it to her. So guess what? If a particular worry is trying to throw you off your game, is trying to make you feel less of a man, have that conversation with your partner and you're going to be surprised at the way she's going to handle it. And it'll be better for both of you. Some guys often ask, do looks actually matter? Right. But in our generation and in our society today, right, most men are attracted to the woman's looks. But a woman, on the other hand, is attracted to something deeper. Women are not as concerned by your physical appearance as you are by theirs. What women are concerned about when it comes to, the way a man looks is for the man to be neat, for the man to groom himself properly, for the man to smell good, and for the man to lead a healthy lifestyle. Not necessarily having a six-pack, but just be fit. That is all that is required of you, men. Not you spending and slaving out in the gym because you feel like that is what they need. No. The next insecurity that men have that women really do not care about is the size of their pocket or the size of their bank accounts. Now I understand that being financially stable is something that is very necessary in this day and age. It is something that a man needs to have to feel secure. It's something that a man needs to have before he thinks that he can go after a woman. But a woman doesn't really care about the size of your pocket. What a woman cares about is how driven and how interesting you are. Now, I'm not saying that you should be an irresponsible man and not take care of your finances and not take care of the things that you need to take care of. I'm just saying that a woman needs a man that is driven, a man that is purpose driven, to be precise. Because a man that is purpose driven is going to have a direction, is going to know where he's headed to, is going to be more collected, is going to be more focused, rather than a man that is not driven or a man that is not purpose oriented. This kind of man is not going to know where his next meal is going to come from. He doesn't know how he's going to feed his family. This kind of man is a man that's going to depend on his woman solely for the family or for the upkeep of the home. This is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that a woman does not need you to be a millionaire or whatever number that you want to put on it for you to see yourself as a man. Because if you're purpose driven and you have confidence in yourself, that is what she wants to see. That is more important, because the long term is what matters, not the now. Because being broke, as you may call it, is just something that is temporary. It is not a state that you're going to be in forever if you're the kind of person who is purpose driven. That is what a woman wants to see. You get it? There's always an exception to the rule. There are some women out there who are going to prefer a man that, has a huge junk and is strong, that you can see right through from any pants that he wears. There's some women out there who are going to prefer a man with a huge bank account. There's some women out there who are going to prefer a man with muscles. There's some women out there who are going to prefer a man who doesn't show his vulnerable side. But these are not the women that you need to concern yourself with, because these are not the right women for you. Because the right one for you is not going to make all that her priority. What is going to be her priority is the confidence that you carry, is you being purpose driven, is you being able to bring her to ecstasy, is you being able to be a man that she can call a leader. This is what a woman that you need is going to be looking for in a man. The next insecurity that men have that women do not really care about is the kind of car that they drive. We all know men love their toys. They like to have a fancy car. They like to pull up at a woman's crib to pick her up for a date, and everyone on the block is looking at them. But that is not what women really need from you. I understand it's cool to, have your man pick you up on a very nice ride, to have your man drive you in a very nice ride, and you guys just go for a drive downtown or anywhere. Yes, that is something that is cool. It is nice to have, but it is not necessary to get a woman to love you. So this is not an insecurity that you should have. There are some men who will not talk to a woman or not even say hi to her or not even try to get to know a woman because of the kind of car they drive, because they feel like if they pull up in front of this woman with a not so fancy car, the woman is going to mock them or the woman is going to shut them down. No, if you do not shoot your shot, you will not be able to tell if you are the kind of man that this woman likes, regardless of the kind of car that you drive. When I met my husband, he didn't even have a car. He was taking the bus, he was taking the train to get to everywhere he wanted to go to. And when he came to visit me, he was riding the bus. He will ride the train for a very long time, and then he will hop on the bus to visit me. And now we are married today. So there are women out there who really do not care about the kind of car that you drive. And the time that he was even able to buy a car, he got a car that had 3 colors. The roof was green, the front was blue, and the other side was, I don't even know the color because it was the sun that had faded it. This person didn't even have where to park it, so they had to auction it. And at that time, we were not even married, we were just dating. Yet, he was able to drop me off wherever I wanted to go with that car. So we had upgraded from him taking a bus and taking a train to him being able to drive. So yes, there are still women out there that are going to enjoy you no matter what you drive. They don't care about the kind of cars that you drive. So there are some women out there that you just need to talk to them, shoot your shot and see where it leads. So guys, these insecurities that you have, I understand everyone has insecurities. It is easier said than done. It's easier to say, no, don't have this insecurity, don't do this, don't do that. But if you can bring yourself to a point where you have confidence in yourself, you have confidence in the abilities that you carry and what lies within you, you'll be able to get the woman of your dreams. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please do not forget to hit that subscription button. Also hit the notification bell, that way you know when you have new uploads. Share this video with your family and friends, especially your guy friends. That way they can come to know that these insecurities that they have really do not matter. Thank you guys and have a fab one. Bye. Mwah.